joined as always by my friend of 25 years, actor extraordinaire, the GCJ himself, the SSA of champion of the world, Mr. JP Wolf. Oh wait, there's more. Before I ask my co-host how he's doing in that soothingly smooth ASMR-like sound, we have a very special guest today. A man who is a superhero on and off screen. A guy who locked down Halle Berry and fought the fucking moon. He is a big-time movie boy, and if you don't think I spelled that with an I, then you're out your goddamn mind. Mr. Eme Ikwuakor. How you doing, fellas?
I love that intro. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Josh is known for his intros.
Everyone gets
I was
their
just
own.
like, no. I was like, please, keep introing. I'm not fine with it. Sit back.
Everyone gets their own.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did.
Thanks for being here. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yeah, I think so. I was so enthralled with the intro. I was like, you can call me whatever you want. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a problem with pronouncing names. I mean, we grew up in Iowa, and we knew people named Jim Smith and John Smith, so that's like the extent of what I can pronounce.
Wait,
yeah.
Did you say Eme Ikwuakor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Correct.
Nice.
Sure.
It's like the first name I got right that wasn't like your most generic John Doe. Most of the time I'm just like, blah, blah.
Let me just add some letters. If I just mumble through this, I think they'll.
I've just accepted. I can't do it.
Just the faster the better.
Yeah.
The faster the better. Yeah.
Eme
But yeah,
Ikwuakor.
thank you. Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time to just sit and chat and talk about movies and a little bit about yourself. And yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate it. But look, I know you have a new movie out, but before we get into all that, I gotta ask, what went wrong with you and Halle? Like a love but not in love situation? Did you put your military career above her needs? Like, did you take it for granted, Eme? Sorry if this is a painful subject, but I'd be remiss if I didn't attempt to get to the bottom of it.
I think it's just at the end of the day. But how much do you put your career in front of the people that you love? But sometimes we do it way too much. And I think one person might be more saltier than the other.
So of course
we had a tumultuous divorce.
Yeah, contentious.
From behind the scenes, that was never filmed.
that was your actor's preparation. That was your backstory, your biography that you wrote before the film.
We're just like, hi, wife. You're like, shut up. I'm like, all right.
Cool.
If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, if anyone doesn't understand what I was doing there, Eme is in the new movie Moonfall, and in said movie, he plays Halle Berry's ex-husband.
Ex-husband.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's still fresh. I'm sorry.
Still fresh.
It's a fresh wound.
Still
Well, let's get into. I got some questions about, or actually, Jay, you had something.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I mean, we'll just get into it. I know that you grew up in Colorado. You have a big family. You're one of 3 triplets.
Yeah.
Did you guys grow up watching a lot of movies? Like, did movies play like a big part growing up for you? Like, what happened around that?
It is. It's also, there's 2 things that happen. We had movie, TV, and video. So when my 3 older brothers were not playing Street Fighter for 15 hours a day while we sat in the back, us 3 just watching them play without getting a chance to play.
Of course.
That's right.
Sometimes we got to watch like TV. One of the things that they actually did was they made a movie really early on. They got a box, and they actually made a scroll with paper. Remember like those olden day like printer papers, like
Yeah.
they like drew a cartoon and they like made a movie for us, like and it like rolled. And it was like this dog. That was like the first movie that I actually remember seeing. Was something that they made.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
And it was
like a
good.
flip
It was like good. It was like a good graphics too.
Yeah.
What is this movie?
I
I
feel
miss
like
those
we're
old printers.
we're all the same age, so I feel like we're at this like really crux of generation where we have really seemingly like ancient stuff, but then also grew up with like the internet and computers, but then we also had things like Light Bright and stuff like that. It's just like this huge juxtaposition,
Oh, yeah.
like Light Bright to like AOL to iPhones to
I
Yeah,
remember I had a black and white TV growing up, like when I was very young.
yeah.
That's how old I am.
I'm
I'm not that old. We were just poor. That's
I remember having like I just remember first time like, seeing like if you play Street Fighter now, like you play Nintendo like back then, you think it's like the greatest graphics.
oh yeah.
Sure.
And then when you go back to like look at it now, you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
What
It's
is
garbage. We've come so
garbage.
far.
It's 8-bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
we
it's
find that
still-
in a lot of the movies we watch too. It's like the special effects blew me away in this, and now we watch it. It's like,
Have you
oof.
seen
Ugh.
Scorpion King?
That is one of my favorites. It's so bad.
It's
And
just
that movie came out
Mm.
on the same. I think it was the same time as The Matrix.
Yeah. Well, they
Holy
had like
shit,
a
you're
great
right.
special effects team doing it, but they just didn't give them any time.
yeah.
Like they cranked that out in like a week or something. It was some ridiculous. There's a whole thing behind it, but like they've done incredible work. That group. I think it's the group from New Zealand. Like Meta, is it?
Oh yeah, Peter Jackson's company.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's someone up on that level. So they're talented. They just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
So that's what we got.
And it's crazy too. Like we'll talk about movies where like you'll see Aliens. That movie was made in the mid 80s, but their special effects still look great.
Mm.
Whereas we watched a movie from 99 2000 and the graphics were just trash. Just garbage. Just garbage.
There's a point there where they stop doing like miniatures and stop motion, and they're like, "Oh, we can do all this on a computer," but they probably shouldn't have, and they tried to do way too much that we weren't ready for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Way too soon.
Yeah. Was there anything that you watched or any like actor or anything that you were kind of influenced by and thought I could do that or I'd want to do that?
My biggest thing is I was watching like Will Smith. Like that stuff was like you got Fresh Prince that was there,
Mm-hmm.
but then you also had like Independence Day, and I just was like so in love with him.
Roland.
He was just
Roland, yep.
He was just like this guy. He was just he was like a megastar.
Yeah.
And I think especially being like African American at the time, like seeing this like megastar at this time, your eyes just get attracted to
Yeah.
it. Like
And
even like Will Smith is like a huge like reason why I'm even doing this. You see that. Like stuff like Bad Boy, like just
oh, Bad Boy
movies. Like that's what it was.
Yeah. Men in
Like,
Black.
All of them. All like you just see this and they're just like this seems like so much fun. And I think the way that he even acted with Will is he acted like he was having so much fun. Like everything he did was just like this is a blast to do.
Yeah. It was that like passion that he had. I mean, I even had I had a poster on my wall after Independence Day came out, and it's Will Smith smoking a cigar, and then it had this really weird like shitty graphic around it. But I had that poster on my wall, and I loved Fresh Prince and Men in Black was great, and yeah, he was a huge star, and I'm glad to see him kind of making a resurgence again with King Richard and and his social media is great, and he talks about his hard work, his perseverance, and Yeah, he's great. I love Will Smith.
He was the biggest thing ever. Had like the biggest TV show, the biggest movie, and he was making music around the Independence Day time. Massive.
Yeah, what's the song that I just absolutely love? I still like Y2K or Will 2K. The year, millennium. I just he just was such an iconic person in my childhood.
Yeah.
Almost even in high school and into college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he showed us he had some chops doing serious stuff too.
Like Ali and oh yeah, all these great movies. Yeah. Oh. So he's definitely somebody you look up to. But in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a ton of action movies. And you are in a lot of bigger action stuff. You were Gorgon in the Marvel universe and Inhumans. You're in Moonfall. Did those guys play any influence on you too? Schwarzenegger or Stallone or Jackie Chan or Wesley Snipes, or were those just movies you watch? Because I know that for me, they were huge. And Bruce Lee, I found Bruce Lee when I was 11 and I read his book and I loved his movies. And then, Rumble in the Bronx with Jackie Chan when that came out. And of course, Blade with Wesley Snipes. And Blade holds up too.
Yeah,
Blade
we've done all three
really
of them.
holds up.
So many of them do. And I think that was one of the things that was so key for me. I started off in sports. So I did track, I did football, and then when I went to college, I did it basically just my freshman year, maybe half of it. I have huge authority issues and got kicked off the team. So
I didn't know that. I didn't.
Oh yeah, totally. I got kicked off the team. I was just so bad.
Can you say why?
Oh yeah, I cussed out my coach's girlfriend. Just straight up. Cussed her out.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I think it worked out for you.
Yeah, I actually I actually did it while he was on the phone, so he heard me do it. Literally, I'm on the phone. Basically, I got called into her office because they wanted me. I was doing. You have to do study hall when you're in sports and college. And they said that I didn't go, and so she was the head person of the student athletics, so making sure they go to study hall. And he was the head track coach. So she calls me into her office and she's like, "You didn't go to study hall." And still to this day, I don't remember if I did or not. I might have.
Study hall in college?
Yeah, you had to study to make sure, because I was on academic probation as well. I forgot to mention that.
I was on that for a year and a half too.
And they're like, "You didn't go." I was like, "Yeah, I did." And then I was like, "You could even talk to my friends." And she says, "All your friends are a bunch of liars." And then
she gave you no choice.
She gave me no choice. I had to bring out the phone and the cuss with literally the head coach was on the line. I'm just like, "You mom, you don't know what the fuck you talking about." And then all of a sudden I finished this rant of a minute. And I'm looking at her face and her jaws just dropped. And I was like, "Oh yeah, the phone's in my hand." And I was like, "Hello?" And it was the head coach, which is her boyfriend. And he's like, "Put her on the phone." And I put her on the phone. And he's like, "He wants to speak to you in his office." I was like, "Oh, all right, great." Went down, got kicked out.
Oh shit. Whoops.
Fantastic. So where I was going with that was I did sports, and then I stopped. And I wanted to keep having sports in my life. And so the thing that really, attracted me especially was I kind of got into acting. That's a long story, but with acting, it was just wait, if I could be physical, then it's I'm kind of carrying sports with me, never really dropping. So now a lot of the stuff I do is physical, but it's mainly because I never wanted to do it ever. I was kind of forced out of it.
When did you start acting?
In college, freshman year.
Wow.
Yeah, I was after I got kicked off the team.
That just delights me.
Oh, that's great.
I went to my advisor, and I was going to go into sports marketing. I didn't want to leave it, so I was going to go to marketing. And she's talking to me, and as she's talking to me, she's like, "You should do acting." And I'm like, "Nope, I don't think that's a good thing for an advisor to tell someone to do."
It's a wild thing to throw out there.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. And then I kept talking, and then she kept going back to acting. She was just like, "Well, if you're in a meeting, you have to sell yourself, so you should probably do acting." Well, it's. And then the thing that was the kicker was, she's like, "You don't need a GPA for acting," and I was like,
"It's like,
that's
it. Yeah, yeah."
That's true. It's so true.
For speaking my language, because I had like 2.0. It was bad. It was not.
Damn.
How do you think, besides the physicality, do you think being an athlete helped with your acting in terms of, like your work ethic and your like focus or your determination? Do you think any of that played a role in like your acting?
Absolutely. It's still to this day. I think it's still the most integral aspect of acting. Because I think the good thing about sports is you're always doing something. Like you always that I'm training for something. I'm willing to put my body through whatever to achieve that something. And even today, I still do sports to kind of connect me to acting. And what I mean by that is like I always need like a physical to tap into like every single time that I go into acting. I believe if you could figure out the way that a character works out, you could get into their mindset. One of the ways that I do that is like, look, for Gorgon, I just felt that this guy could lift up the world. Like I just thought he could lift anything. So literally, my training was just lift the most heaviest weight possible.
Yeah.
Every single day, I'm just doing these expanding movements. It's like that's the way people go through life. If you're a yoga teacher and your character does yoga, I'm going to do yoga because it's a certain type of mindset you have to get into in the physical to do these types of things. And so even he was this general, and he was divorced. And one of the things that I did was I got my trainer, this guy named Robert, who was just like my trainer for everything. And I was quarantined in Montreal for 2 weeks, and I couldn't leave. We got the trash. So what the studio did, what they were able to do, well, the team did, they put in a gym in my second bedroom, like a bike and weights. And so I was doing 2 to 3 workouts a day virtually, and I couldn't ask for help, meaning that you're just going to be in this room, you're going to be single-minded, and you just got to get your head down. You got to work out for 5 hours a day and not quit and follow this regimented plan. I was like, this is what I need to do because as a guy that's dealing with this type of stuff in the military every single day, he can't ask for help. His nose is to the ground. He has to keep. So I've never left sports. Like I still train in the exact same way, like is sport or athletic competition.
Fascinating.
Wow. Yeah, that's so
teamwork
cool.
kind of thing too. That could probably go along with that, like the team, like being on a team.
It's
associating
all
that.
It's like you realize that at the end of the day, like you're just a small part of God, but it's important to telling the story. It's listening, it's being reactive. Sports to me is one of the most integral parts of, I think, development, learning, listening, being adaptive and understanding your body and really understanding like the minute things that we're able to do. I think it's super important.
Yeah, I mean that's some of the best education I had was playing organized sports.
Yeah.
I got more out of that than any class I ever went to.
Playing well with others, speaking up for yourself,
pushing yourself to a point
pushing
you didn't
yourself.
think you could.
Mm-hmm.
Even interviews too. Because when we had sports, like after games, like sometimes they'd interview, like, "Oh, how was the game? You had a great game." Blah 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 blah. Or this and that. It's. I think that's why it's such an easy transition for people in sports to go into acting. It's very similar in regards to the profession.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I feel like it was a huge thing, you know, in the 60s and 70s and 80s. You saw a lot of people transition from a lot of the times the NFL, you know, like Carl Weathers, you know, Ed O'Neill played professional football. A lot of
I could bring up OJ.
You
Yeah.
could. And I feel like that happens a little bit. I think Pac-Man Jones is doing some acting stuff. Who's
Tony Gonzalez is doing stuff.
Really? Oh yeah, stuff. The Mannings are all over.
The Mannings for sure. Yeah. They're so. Peyton is so funny.
Did you guys watch the cast of Monday Night Football with the two brothers? Did you ever check that out?
No.
It was really good. Biggest surprise? Eli. He's a lot of fun.
Really?
I always thought he was just like a dope, like an empty shirt, but now he basically like leads the whole thing. He's great.
Really?
Is he as funny as Peyton?
Almost more. Like I was blown away by like how like affable and fun he was. I just never saw that coming.
Yeah.
He always seemed like a wet blanket.
Exactly.
I was just gonna say that same shit. Yeah.
That's what I mean. I thought he was just a zero. Like I didn't think there was anything going on there. But no.
Except the only quarterback that could consistently beat Tom Brady.
Right. I just thought he was one of those athletes that's just like, I'm good at this, like everything else, whatever. No. And he's charming himself.
Nice. Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah. He really needed the win. Yeah, that's worth checking out. Look, I want to get into your movie, Moonfall.
Yeah.
First question, probably most important question. Is Patrick Wilson as dreamy in person as he looks on screen?
It's tough. I didn't actually see him during film.
Yeah, I know you didn't have any scenes with him, but I was hoping maybe we had a premiere or something. Or
no, we did. Here's the thing: is at the premiere, what happened? He walked down the steps, and then they're like, "Oh, it's Patrick." And I looked, and he already passed.
Oh.
And then I was just like, I'll see him at the after party. And I never saw him.
Did you get to know too many people on the film, like, well, or I feel like a lot of your scenes were like on the phone or something.
I learned I am good friends with my thumb now.
With who?
Great. My thumb, the phone.
Yeah. your sat phone.
My sat phone. No, it was honestly like a lot of stuff was with like my phone, but then like the reader who's off screen. Like a lot of this is probably the most challenging prep I've had to do for a movie.
I would think so when you're not playing off somebody.
Yeah, and I think one of the crazier things was the fact that I had this relationship with Hallie's character, my son whose name is Zane, and I technically was never gonna have scenes with him.
Yeah.
So I had to build with my wife, and they're gonna be shooting their stuff before me. So it's like they've already established what this could be. And then I was kind of brought in, and I was like, all right, so how do I build a relationship with my son and ex-wife and having the chance to possibly never meet them? And knowing like what they're doing on the opposite side of the phone.
Yeah.
So that to me was just like, okay, the 2 weeks was really that type of prep. I was able to finally do on her last day of shooting was actually like the day before my first day of shooting, so I was able to at least come in and read my lines with her for her angle on her.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And then my son, I was able to do it. Able to set up a Skype call with him, and he was in like Toronto, I think. So I was able to get a little bit of information there, but still at the end of the day, especially with the kid, it's like I don't know what he's doing in the movie. I don't know what he's gonna do. So what I had to do was I had to kind of go backwards, whereas I had to establish who is this guy at work. And it's like why I had to go that way was because I was like, all right, if I can go from the angle of this guy has prioritized his work so much that he doesn't know how to relate with his wife and kid. Going about it that way. So it's just like, okay, I'm comfortable with this. I love these guys at work. Because I love these guys so much at work, this relationship fell to the wayside. So the entire movie, it almost felt like I wanted to play catch up. Like I didn't know how to relate with my kid. I'm trying to get on the phone with them the first time. So there is that kind of disconnection in regards to conversation.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else I would have control of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just watching it, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh, he's not, because I mean, it looks like you're talking to one another. Of course you're not. Like those are filmed separately. But I mean, you can't tell. Like, you did a great job, so you can't tell. But that's got to be difficult.
I think it was also kind of one of the things like, oh yeah, hey, so you're gonna be doing this movie. Who's like one of your dream directors, and Hallie, and for this $150 million movie. Oh yeah, and you're probably not gonna see Hallie or your kid, and there's gonna be quarantine for 2 weeks, and then you probably have to get all your stuff done in 3 days. Go. And I was like,
oh shit.
Oh yeah, and shave your beard.
That would have been the hardest part.
Oh, trust me, tears almost like I had to shave, and it's like losing an arm. Like this does not ever go, and I look completely different without a beard. It just looks.
Yeah, I mean that would add in a level of like discomfort for me. Like it just that's what I just like.
That was the thing. I had to for the first week and a half, I had to shave, and I just had to get used to my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really like to do certain things. You know what I mean? It's just like,
absolutely.
What you're looking at is not the way you'd use your response. So it's like right now, when I talk, you can't tell that right here. Like I have a very thin lip. It's like razor thin. When this beard is gone, you realize you have no upper lip. There's just nothing there. So you're just like, for the first couple of days, you're just like, why is there so much space? And you have to make it seem like you've been clean shaven for 30 years.
Yeah, you have to act natural in a place where you're not feeling comfortable at all.
Is this your first time on screen clean shaven? Because I know in a lot of your other stuff that I've seen, you always have a beard.
I had to do it. I had to do it for concussion.
Oh, gotcha.
I had to do clean shaven, but I was like 18 years old, and I think that's the other thing that made it funny with this one. So 4 years, probably concussions like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was playing 18 clean shaven. So now they're just like, now 5 years later, you're gonna play 49 years old and clean shaven.
Like, I had to ask JP. I'm like, I think this is him, but like the character, I think is too old to be him. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's him.
There's a stranger up there. But it was cool. I think it's like one of those things, getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Really just trying something new, especially at that level.
Oh yeah. High up. I mean, you said that Hallie filmed her scenes before. Were they able to like play those back to you, or was it just someone?
They were, and it also made it. I liked it, but it was also tough a little bit because
almost distracting, maybe.
In a way, because it's like you see what she's doing, so it's like, am I playing the real moment or am I playing a reaction to what she's doing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's not in the moment. It's just like played back, so it's almost like her response is kind of manufactured in a way, and for yours to kind of not be manufactured like that, I know, I understand what you mean. Yeah, God, that's tough. And in the moment too, because I don't know about you, but with quarantine, my social skills in general just like went pew, like down the toilet, like almost immediately. Because, for like 6 months, I didn't talk to anybody in person but Haley, and when I was around people, I had to like rework that muscle. Like, did that play any effect for you too? Because I know that they shot this in quarantine, and that was like in the height of the pandemic too.
I think just in general, I'm just a little awkward. So I think it just we're like, all right, great, cool, just keep going, just keep going.
Yeah.
But for me, a lot of it was actually the 2 weeks of quarantine actually kind of helped. It was almost like this meditative state I was able to get into, and also it's just like I think for me, it's like when I'm on set, it's just kind of different. I just I understand, like, hey, you have to be an extrovert. And if I have to be an extrovert, I can be an extrovert.
That athletic mindset comes in, I'm sure.
Game time, lights are on.
Game time.
Yeah, it's game time.
Yeah.
It's game time, so it's like great. So you just have to, be in the zone for the next 16, 17 hours. Go home. Don't talk to anybody, and then just do it.
Yeah.
Nice. Sticking. I mean, what was it like working with the god that is Roland Emmerich?
Roland. It's just always crazy because one of the reasons I'm in this industry is because it's like Roland. So I remember seeing him for the first time, like kind of like walking, and I didn't know it was him. And he's like, hey, especially because there's like masks and everything,
Oh yeah. And I mean, he's a huge name, but he's not like, I don't think I could pick him out of a crowd.
Yeah, and I think
name like 40 of his movies, but I don't really know what he looks like.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. It's also funny too because you like see him, you're like Roland, like he's this big guy, like you just imagine like this big. I just imagine like this big giant walking.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because he makes these big giant movies.
He makes larger than life movies, so it must come out of a larger than life man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then walking, and he's like, oh, this Roland. I'm like, oh, hey, Roland. And we just started talking, and it was just like, don't freak out, don't freak out, don't freak out. This is Roland. Keep it cool, keep it cool. He's saying something. You pay attention. I think I heard what he's great. And but like Roland is super cool. I mean, for a guy that just makes such massive movies, he's really kind of chill and just very specific on what he wants. You kind of were able to get into like a very calm sense. Like my very last day was a 17-hour day. I had to get everything, and I was in every single moment of this 17 hours. But it was just really kind of, I don't want to say it's hectic because you have 17 hours, but it was like really calming. I just felt like I was in a spot that I could. And I think it's also because Roland gives you the opportunity to do that. Not only him, but
I'm so glad to hear that he was cool.
Like he was super cool. And even I think one of the cool things is I went to the after the premiere, the after party, like you go to the bar over like Roland, like friends over, like Eme, and we just start going in this like 20-minute conversation. Which is just, that's kind of it's when you say meeting like your heroes in real life, seeing how they are, it's like he was kind of cooler than I thought.
God, that's good to hear. Oh, that's good to hear.
Oh, I hope you show up in more of his movies because like we've done a number of them on our show, and they're just so much fun.
They're fun. They're like this like, and the thing that I kind of just like really like kind of got you back to the nostalgia of like the 90s, 2000s movies. It's just, we had blockbuster, like fun, like the Will Smith, just like charismatic, fun popcorn flicks that is just like, can this happen? No, but that's the point.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just see this like SUV jumping up an asteroid and like landing amongst the trees. I'm just like,
cool shit.
Awesome. Like you're just cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roland Emmerich really reminds me of like that guy that like you're a kid and you have like these like Tonka trucks and you're just like crashing them into each other. It's like you're able to be like this big kid, just like sitting back and enjoying what you're seeing in front of you.
That's his playground.
His movies just like they know exactly what they are, and I mean that as a compliment because a lot of times things are messy. It's like this is exactly what it is, and it's hitting every beat it's attempting to, and it's killing all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he makes. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's like it is. It's like it's cool to be able to like get back into that nostalgia.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like we don't have a lot of that type of movie anymore. I feel like that was all over the place, but like.
I think we have Roland Emmerich stuff and like Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. That feels in the same vein and like cut from the same cloth of like it's just gonna be fun. Like this might be silly or ridiculous, but you're gonna have a hell of a time. You're gonna have a great time for an hour and 50 minutes in the theater, and like you want to see it on the big screen because so much is going on. Just love that.
And with like the superhero movies too, speaking of, you know, the Russo brothers and, you know, having worked with them on Gray Man, you know, what movie has been bigger than superhero movies since when did the first Iron Man come out? 2008? You know? And, you know, the Russo brothers did Endgame and Infinity War, which, you know, brought all these characters together in these giant battle scenes. And like, that was I'm going to wave my nerd flag here for a second, but seeing Captain America pick up Thor's hammer was one of like my favorite movie experiences ever. The entire theater just went, whoa, and just like went fucking nuts. It was amazing. And I loved that. I love experiencing big movies like that with a bunch of strangers.
Like a spectacle.
Yeah, spectacle. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
do you have a sorry?
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, go on.
I'm gonna say your question.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I kind of want to ask it because I'm like, what's your
do it.
I
read my mind.
You know,
be careful.
What were you gonna say? Well, what were your movies that were those big type of spectacles for you? Is that it?
It was.
Yeah. I don't want to go into the fun.
Man, I didn't know I was that. I thought I was more mysterious than that.
I was like, no, please. Honestly, the thing, and that's why I was tough because I have one, and then I have like 20 EC, meaning that like there's a clear number one. It's not even.
I'm the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's The Matrix.
Yeah.
The Matrix for me is all time just number one. It's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It was one of the most incredible things I've seen on the screen in my life. And even to this day, I watched The Matrix. I watched it at my house because that movie came out. That movie
Mm-hmm.
But the story is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, like this isn't necessarily a litmus test for being a good movie, but the amount that it's been copied and ripped off, and like, I mean,
oh my God, it changed. It changed the way fights are choreographed and the way things are shot, and you know that kind of neo kind of gothic, kind of goth, with a lot of darker colors and stuff like that. It changed a lot with movies, and I remember the first time I saw that movie.
Yeah, I do too. That was the first DVD I ever watched.
Whoa. Did you see it in theaters?
No, I didn't see it in the theaters.
Me neither.
We got our first big screen TV, like one of those big hulking things that weighs like 7,000 pounds, and we got a DVD player, and that's the first thing I watched on it.
Oh my God! Okay, you just reminded me back in college when I had like a 70-inch TV with surround sound, and I would pull that in, and that intro, that song. Oh my God! You just brought back a memory for me. That was just like,
yeah,
cool. You just brought back nostalgia right
now. That's what I'm here for. I often wonder, like, younger people when they see that, if they're as blown away, or it's like they've seen all the movies that have borrowed from it or just straight up ripped it off, and they're like, oh, I've seen this a million times. Like, if they can appreciate it in the same, you know what I mean? Like, when we just never seen anything like this, and now, I mean, you'd see that anywhere, but it's just so innovative.
I don't know if we could. It's happened to me twice, and I think there's two movies to me that like changed. Like, as soon as The Matrix came out, you couldn't have bad special effects anymore. Like, you just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, you couldn't. And then it's the same thing that I saw with Gravity. As soon as Gravity came out with space and good interpretation of space, you can't have bad space anymore.
Yeah.
You can't. Like, those, like, there's certain movies that just change the way moving forward. That's like, oh yeah, what was accepted before, you can't.
Yeah, it's like, now we've seen what can happen. We can't deal with all this mess now.
Yeah. I wonder now too, even with The Matrix, I don't know if I could ever go back to that original feel. I think I'm having like post feelings, but the very first time I like, because you have to understand is like, we had never ever seen anything close to anything like The Matrix.
Right. It's got to be like how people felt seeing the first Star Wars.
Or, you know, like, you know, Citizen Kane too, you know, you watch that movie and you're like, oh yeah, this is the same shit, you know, in terms of, you know, like dolly shots and stuff like that. But then you think about in that time period, nothing like that had ever been done. Nothing like that had ever been done.
I feel that way about, this is going to seem strange, but Scream, the original Scream. Like, if you go back and watch that now, it's like, oh, I've seen this a million times. But it's because it did what it did. You know, on a different scale, a different genre and everything, but I have the same feeling of like The Matrix in that, like, for those genres.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I love about. That's just what I love about like filmmaking, is that we all kind of go through that process together. Like, we all had that Matrix feeling. We all had that Scream feel. You know, and I think that's the thing that I love just about art and filmmaking, is that we're all kind of going through this process together.
Yeah, it's almost like a communal thing. Like, and that's why I have my issues with theaters, but there's some movies that just have to be seen in a crowd on the big screen. Moonfall is one of them. Like, it's just like, I want to have fun with a bunch of strangers that I'm never gonna see or meet, but like, we're all going through this visual smorgasbord together and just having a hell of a time.
I love the movie theater experience. It's just, and it's sad because I know it's kind of dying. And even before COVID, it's kind of dying. But that's just, for me, that's like my sanctuary. It's like the movie theaters. Like, I love going to see movies and eating popcorn and just like enjoying myself. Yeah.
Watching with strangers. I remember there's a movie that I saw. It's not an action film, but it was The Campaign with
Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis. Yeah.
And I went to a movie theater by myself, and I was just laughing, almost pissing my pants, with a bunch of strangers. And I think that was just like one of those things where it's like, you're in your own bubble watching it, but then you're like in this crowded bubble, which I just like, and then it sucks. It's like, I know, like, the movie theaters are, unless it's right now a specific type of movie, every movie's just is kind of just gonna bomb.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're walking that line with like, Warner put out every single movie in theaters and then streaming at the same time. I mean, I live half a block away from a great movie theater, and I have the stub thing, so I can go basically for free. And I still would half the time be like, I'm just gonna click a button and not put my
watch it at home.
Like, you know?
And I think it's one of those things, like, even like The Matrix. Like, I saw The Matrix. I went to Matrix in 40K or 40X or something, and I was like, this is a movie you have to see in theater. Like, the sound, the picture quality, like, it's these movies, you have to watch the movies where they're designed to be played.
Right.
Because they were made in that fashion. That's like you're saying, oh, here's this Picasso, and let me send it to you in like a WhatsApp photo.
Right.
And
judge
it based on that.
Yeah, it's like filmed in IMAX and you're watching it on your phone.
And you watch it on your phone, and you're like, all right, well, what's wrong with the sound quality? It's like,
it wasn't made for this.
It wasn't made for that.
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. Yeah, it's like it's like I always want to be like watch whatever art you have in the format that it's supposed to be presented.
Yeah, that it's intended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have a favorite Roland movie?
It's my favorite Roland movie is going to be Moonfall.
Oh yeah. Well, outside of ones you're in.
Outside of Moonfall, yeah.
Until the end of my life, my favorite Roland movie is going to be Moonfall. Doesn't matter unless I'm in like Moonfall 2, then it's gonna be Moonfall 1 and 2.
Well, you lived, right? Sorry for spoilers. Huh? You lived, right?
I don't.
It's ambiguous.
Yeah. If there's no body, you're still alive.
Still alive. Yeah.
But outside of that, what's your favorite? And I think I can guess.
Independence.
Yeah.
Mine too.
It's you just have so many iconic images.
Yeah, that movie broke my brain when I was little. I was just like,
me too.
Oh,
I remember seeing it in the theater. It was crazy.
Still holds up too.
It really does.
All the miniature work and everything. Oh, we love practical effects. I love miniatures and oh god.
And I think it does also, like, there's just so much stuff with me. There's just so much nostalgia because being part of course, Moonfall, Thor Ragnarok. So it's like you have two people that you imagine watching this, and then now either getting to act across them.
Yeah.
So that was a way for me, is being able to act across them. Well, these two people are integral to the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So there's still going to be these like
of course
just keep happening, like even with Hal. Like, second time like technically and being able to like run into it, she'd be like, hey, no fun, like, check her car, other stuff, stations. You're like, where am I? What's going on?
Yeah.
It's gonna be surreal.
Oh my god.
Oh
yeah.
Okay. So, speaking of the moon.
Okay.
You were in the Inhumans.
Yeah.
What was it like living on the moon?
Oh, well.
Like that segue? It's pretty good.
I have to think with the moon.
Yeah, you're a big moon guy.
That's it was great. Hawaii. I was basically in Hawaii.
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, one of your co-stars in that, Ian Cusick, is it?
Ian Cusick.
Yeah, I mean, he just like lives in Hawaii. He was Desmond Hume in Lost, like.
I think he lives in Hawaii. I think
he must, like.
I mean, shit. Yeah, I mean, if you're there for long enough, he was
right.
Yeah, you're there for 5 years.
Right. Show that I think that was filming in Hawaii. I think he lives in Hawaii.
Is he on like Hawaii 5-0 or something?
I think so. I think if you look at it, it's like Hawaii, like everything that he's done.
Is it shooting in Hawaii? Cool. I'm good.
I'm in.
Cool.
Sounds great.
Don't worry about it.
That's a man who knows what he's doing.
So you're in the Marvel universe. Is there any other superhero that you'd want to play? That you'd want to be? Because we have a couple ideas.
I got a good one.
Actually, wait. Hold on. Do I give that away now? Should I guess what you're gonna say?
No. Oh, no. We just
give who you would want.
Okay.
Who would you want to be?
All right. So there's three. One is this. I would do Blade, but I think Mahershala Ali is just gonna kill him. So I'm gonna get these guys. I would do Bishop.
Oh, I loved Bishop as a kid. He was like my favorite. Oh
Bishop
my god, how did I not even think of that? Jesus Christ.
Oh, Bishop's great.
That was my guy. That was like my favorite X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I would do, there's two, and it's switching sides. Totally switching sides. Would be, I have such a thing for Superman. I just love the story. I
Yeah.
actually love Superman and like a Black Man.
Like well, Val-Zod, right? Val-Zod character.
Oh,
What'd you say?
Val-Zod.
Oh, General Zod. General Zod.
No, Val-Zod. He's a Superman on Earth too.
I don't know about that. How do I not know this?
Black Superman.
That is?
Yeah.
How do I,
They're talking about maybe Michael B. Jordan
yeah, is he
playing
already
him.
started?
There's talk of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I sound like such a noob. I was just like,
Nah,
what? Black Superman?
fine. I love comic books and I know too much about them.
But Josh had a really good one before you jumped on. What's yours?
Because I want to see this anyways. I don't know if you're familiar with a character called Blue Marvel, Adam Bashir. You probably aren't. Most people aren't. He's kind of obscure. So here it is. He was like, he's basically Superman. And he started off in like the 50s and 60s. But because of, racism, he had a mask on. And during one fight, it got like broken. And so people saw his face, and John F. Kennedy, this is in the comics, he was like, hey, I need you to like stop being this because people can't accept a black Superman. And so he agreed and he stopped, but then he came back like in like present day. And so he's a little older then. So I think you would be awesome for that because you could play the period piece of like the 50s, 60s, kick an ass, and then just throw a little gray in the hair, and then do it in the present day. Yeah.
Currently there.
He's an awesome character because he's
his
like
name?
a genius. Blue Marvel, Adam Bashir.
Blue Marvel.
He's like a genius. Like he's got like 8 PhDs. He's like, and he's just crazy OP powerful.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm definitely gonna.
Yeah. And
is that the one that Michael B. Jordan is talking about doing? Or?
No, I haven't heard.
This is in the Marvel. This is in the Marvel universe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know if they're even planning on a movie for him.
If I do
that. They should be planning a movie for him. I have faith in Feige that he'll figure that out. But.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't. I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, check out Blue Marvel.
Yeah.
What about y'all? What would you guys play? Who would you guys?
Oh, well, Patton Oswalt took Pip the Troll, so.
I always wanted to play Spider-Man. I'm kind of aged out of Spider-Man though, and the guys who have, you got Tom Holland, you got Tobey Maguire, you got Andrew Garfield, and they've just done so much great shit with Spider-Man. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
I just saw Uncharted yesterday, and Tom Holland, a delight.
That looks like such a fun movie.
It was just fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncharted?
Yeah, it is fun.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's nothing serious. It's just silly and fun.
Yeah.
Is it like in the same vein as kind of like Fast and Furious type of thing, like that type of just popcorn?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're just doing ridiculous stuff that doesn't make any sense, but it's just like you just accept it. It's fine. It's cool. It's fun. I'm enjoying myself. Tom Holland's one of my favorites. I love that.
He's great.
Brit.
I saw him the first time I saw him was in The Impossible.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I was like, this guy is gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Blow up.
It's another dude who's got some chops too. Like, I feel like this movie is criminally underrated, but Cherry. I think
I still haven't seen that.
I need
part of that too. I loved that movie. I was a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll watch that. There's so many movies I have to see. I'm so bad. So many. Oh, I think I've seen like 3 movies in theaters, and I think it was 3 times I saw Moonfall.
You're due. There's a lot of good ones. You know, Batman's coming out. We did an episode
Batman.
We did an episode a couple weeks ago where we talked about like our favorite movies coming out this year, and both of us unanimously Batman was the number one. It's just, oh my god,
more the perfect trailer.
Oh, so good.
Nirvana, just it just worked. Matt Reeves. Have you seen? A lot of people haven't seen him. Did you see his Planet of the Apes movies?
He wasn't the one with Mark Wahlberg, was he? Was that his name?
No, that was Tim Burton.
God.
They did a Planet of the Apes movie with James Franco, which Matt Reeves did not direct. And then I think they did 2 more movies that Matt Reeves did direct. And like Caesar is like on his own. In Andy Serkis was like the mocap for Caesar.
Yeah, those are Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
Those movies have no business being good, and they're really good.
They're so good. So good. Just like
you watching Batman on opening night?
I have tickets on Thursday. Yeah, I could have gotten them like 2 days earlier, but my pass didn't work, and I'm like, do I want to actually spend $20 2 days early? I didn't. I actually got to see your movie like 2 weeks early. I got into
you did?
Yeah, an early screening of it.
Did you use the AMC stubs?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was nice.
Did you see IMAX?
Yep.
I heard the difference between the two, like an IMAX and like not an IMAX. There was just such a difference in just.
Oh, I can imagine. There's just so much. Yeah.
Oh, it was
sound.
Awesome. Yeah. It was so great.
You were like 5 seats away from me.
I hadn't seen an IMAX movie in so long, and just, that was the perfect movie to see on an IMAX. Just the big picture, the big sound, and
it needs
so much fun. It needs
so
that.
Lucky I have an IMAX right next to me. Very fortunate.
I need to get an AMC Stubs pass.
Yeah, you see one IMAX movie that takes care of your $24 a month. I mean, here they're like $23 to go see an IMAX. Yeah. So see one movie.
And don't you get like discounts on like food and all that stuff too?
I think so.
Yeah.
Instantaneously,
I go to so many movies now, and I just like wander in and wander out. Like I don't buy anything. I just go in, sit down for 2 hours, and make my way out.
I gotta get one. Because especially now, being able to just like get out of the house and watch a movie.
Yeah, I force myself to, because I'll get these tickets ahead of time, and then I'm like, I don't want to leave because I never leave. I don't deal with anything, but yeah, it's great. Well worth the money. So, in the Inhumans, you worked with I'm gonna screw his name up, but Ian Rion.
Yeah, Ian Rion.
Played Maximus.
Yeah.
Okay, he's like a shitty dude in that, and he played like the all-time shitty dude of Ramsay Bolton in Game of Thrones. I'm guessing because this is usually how it works. Is he like the nicest guy ever?
Yeah, he's actually the person I probably hung out with most while I was in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and one of the things that was really kind of cool. It's funny, like in Inhumans, he was actually right for like most of the series, and we were the ones that were kind of like the asshole, like hating humans and thinking that they were disgusting. And then in the end, he's just like, we are, and he's not in. And it got to the very end, it's just like he was actually right. But like honestly, like in real life, it's just like really cool. He's awesome. He's really
great actor.
There's not a lot of people that I've met in this industry that are assholes.
Really? That's
good to hear.
Like I think I've met like one. I've met one.
What's that?
Would it be somebody we know?
You know who the person is. I'm not gonna say it for this.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Of course. Oh no, of course not.
It's a person who like is known for it. He plays characters that are like that, and he was just awful, just awful.
I've noticed a lot of times the people who play like typically like continuously play these awful people are just you always hear they're like the nicest people off screen.
Yeah, he was super like, and the thing is, it was like so crazy. It's like you couldn't go anywhere without people being in line, being like waiting to say hello to him.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was a massive part of like the biggest show on the planet for multiple
you can't
years.
go anywhere. We'd go to a bar, and you just hear whispers, and like eyes would stop, and they'd like look over to the left, and then you just see a line forming, waiting to talk.
That's funny because he's very distinct looking, but like he's not like, but also at the same time very like, regular looking, if that makes sense. But like I don't notice anything. Like I walk by I'll be with people and I'll walk by someone famous on the streets of New York and I just won't notice. I don't notice anything. I'm the most unobservant person ever. But him, I'd be like, oh, I actually that would compute. And I don't know why. Because he doesn't have like any distinguishing features that like would make you pick him out of a crowd. But maybe it's just the impact that Ramsay Bolton character had.
Yeah, and so when we were coming up to, he's like, "Oh my God, you're just such a shitty person in the show. You're a shitty person in the show."
It's such a weird thing that people do.
Oh, you're so awful.
What a thing to say to a stranger.
Well, like that's when you know he did his job. He did his job.
At it.
I hate you. You're gross in the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
in the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He was really good on this show. I don't know if you guys ever saw this English show called Misfits, where it's kind of like a superhero-y kind of show too.
Heard of that.
And he's really good on that show. Got to check it out.
There's people that you see that just like act, and it's just so
easy. Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like I have to put him. Oh God, that, and he's just like, yeah, people are just like, they just like a cold read table read. It's like, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, you can win an award.
Mm-hmm.
I cold read. I'm like, do you even speak the English language? Like, I'm in that.
What's this? I heard this story. I forget what movie it was for, but Bradley Cooper was doing a table read with De Niro. And De Niro said one of his lines, but he said it so just like naturalistic, and like Bradley Cooper responded to him like, didn't say the lines, but it was like, oh yeah, no problem. What'd you? And De Niro's like, I'm reading the lines. And Cooper was like, whoa, what? What the fuck?
I had that with like Ken Leon, and that guy. He said, you know, like I would say a joke, and he would laugh so genuinely that I'd be like, I'm a funny guy. And there's like people, and he would just be like so chill. He's like, oh, and I looked down, I was like, oh, character's supposed to laugh.
Well, I mean, he has to be. He was like a doctor, and then it was just like, I'm gonna act now. So
Wait.
Right?
Oh no, you're thinking some the guy from
you're talking about Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong.
Yeah.
Or no, this different guy.
Oh.
Yeah. Ken Leon.
Oh, Ken Leon. Okay.
Yeah, Leon.
I thought you said Ken Jeong.
You're like, you played a doctor. I'm like, wait, why did you not tell me to play a doctor? He was a doctor.
He was the bad guy, one of the bad guys in Rush Hour. That's what I always remember.
Oh, I loved Rush Hour.
Yeah. That's what I always remember.
I do Rush Hour.
Oh, we gotta do Rush Hour at some point.
Love Rush Hour.
Yeah.
Have you seen Rush Hour recently?
Not recently.
It's been years.
Did not hold up.
You watch some movies and you're just like, oh, that wouldn't fly.
Oh. We deal with a lot of that because we do a lot of movies.
I watched it. I was like, oh my God, this movie is extremely racist.
Yeah.
Oh, then like to an extreme.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the movies we do. we try to point out that try not to go too deep because like well, first off, we're just a couple of straight white guys. Like, we shouldn't be pontificating on certain things, but we like to point it out and be like, that was fucked up, but we're trying to be happy and fun here. Like,
yeah.
It's like we see it, we know it, we recognize it, but
yeah,
we want you to know that we know. There's a lot of that.
Like, did you notice it? Did you just notice that two white guys on the podcast? Oh, nah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. The Gray Man coming out. Do you have a release date for that yet? I can't find one.
There's not.
There's not.
I think.
What was it?
20. It's this year.
It's this year. Yeah, that's all I can find, and it's on Netflix.
Year. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be around the summertime, right? I mean, that's
that cast is unreal. I mean, first off, the Russo brothers, they're huge. Anna de Armas, Chris Evans, Jessica Henwick, Ryan Gosling, Billy Bob.
It's like weird. Like I so badly just want to like talk about the movie, but it's just like
I'm sure.
It's like so in the reps, but it's just like that was one of those pinch me moments where you're just like on set and you're like talking to this guy, and then you'll turn to the left and you're talking to this guy that you grew up, and then the Russo brothers will just like walk past, and then you're just like, are you kidding? Like the star power of the film is just
and
they're doing just to play like this movie. That movie is spy espionage, and that it is a massive.
That's on my top 5 of most anticipated.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
I didn't even know you were in it. He told me during. I was like, oh my god, it's even better.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm so excited about that. I can't.
Because there's not a lot out there on it. Like, there's like the brief synopsis, but it doesn't really tell you anything.
But I love that.
I do too.
I love that.
Because of what we do, like, there's rarely a movie I go into where I'm like, I don't know everything about it already, or at least every rumor, whatever. And
seen like 8 trailers for it.
Yeah, and that have been dissected by 100 people that I've watched and read or listened to. Like, I like know too much. And every so often I'll go into a movie that I don't know anything about, and it's just like I can just sit here and like let it happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see the there was like the Netflix announcement?
Yes.
All of them.
What's that?
There's like a Netflix announcement of like their 2022 movies.
Oh yeah, because they're doing one like every week or something.
And like it's I'm so it gives me chills thinking about it, because that's the other thing is like I wanted to work with the Russos. So it's like being able to work with them as well. It's like last year was just a year done.
Huge.
Yeah.
It was just like the ability to work with so many people.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at 2 movies alone, like that's fucking ridiculous.
It's crazy. And then the other I'm super excited about, which is the Outlaw Johnny Black.
We were talking about that because we
love
Michael Jai White. We love Michael Jai White. What was it like working with him?
Yo, it was for that movie. You're dealing with like the kings of like comedy. Like there's so many comedians in that, and I'm just like, I gotta be funny, and I don't know what I don't do. Just like they literally be like, do something fun, and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Had you do like improv and stuff?
Yo, like the stuff like so. I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, of course.
My character's a trip. My character's a trip. And it was like that's the first time that I've done like just a full on straight on comedy.
Yeah.
And you're acting around like Tommy Davis, like these types of people that I'm just like who are literally saying jokes the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be in there, be like, knock knock, who's that? Like that's like my level. So like that was like also probably like the most pressure of the film because they're like, there's a difference between like be funny with your friends and be funny with like kings of like stand-up.
Oh yeah, just like Goliath. I mean,
because like I tell people, if you have not seen Black Dynamite, it is I think one of the best comedies in the last like 15 years. I think it's fucking genius. Michael Jai White is so funny. And I know that like Outlaw Johnny Black is kind of like a riff on that, like a satirical, you know, like a spoofy blaxploitation Western. And I'm a big fan of his ever since, you know, Spawn and, you know, Universal Soldier.
Spawn, they gotta remake that at some point.
You could be Spawn too. Spawn's, yeah, you could be Spawn.
Wait, are they? I thought they are. They?
I mean, they have to. I just
yeah.
No, I'm saying, are they current?
Not that I'm aware of, but it's
that'd be a great role for you. Oh my God.
I would do.
Yeah.
I would think. Yeah, but that movie, those are like the movies that I'm really like. Those two, just straight comedy, just balls to the wall, action, just fun.
Being around comedians too is like a different thing because everything's a joke. It's
everything.
Always, especially when they get together in a group, it's like everyone's trying to like not necessarily one up each other, but like they want to like. There's probably a little ego there. It's like
yeah.
It's like who could say the best joke at the end?
Yeah.
And it's like all the time. But sometimes I'm like, oh my God.
There's no. Yeah.
I need to take a nap. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like, and yeah, it's like I'm excited for you. I'm actually really excited for it.
You know, when does that have a release date?
You know, they've aired it. It was at the ABFF, American Black Film Festival. I think it's there. And then right now, I think they're just trying to find the slate.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything on that either.
Yeah.
Telling people, like, yeah, because it says that it aired. Like, I just want to see a trailer, something. I just want to see what's kind of going on.
Yeah.
Well,
you've done some big acting stuff. Is there anything that you could think of off the top of your head? Like, do you have any roles that you want to play? Is there anything, like, what else do you want to do? What are some goals?
The next one, the one I'm actually actively on, I'll still go acting wise because there's stuff that I want to do, like with my own stuff, like producing and directing and writing. But the acting is like, I'm literally on this line of detective. Like I like Luther, like one of my biggest inspirations.
Luther's so
good.
Alice.
Because one of the key things that people don't know is when I first came out to LA, the first thing that I did was stand and work for Idris for Thor, the first Thor movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
So from that moment, I saw this guy, and I've really been using him as like this mentor kind of guidepost for everything. So it's just like, I was like, okay, Idris is older. And it was really kind of I think simple marketing. This guy's older than me. This guy, I see where his career is going. Pitch yourself and basically model yourself as a younger Idris.
That's so
smart. Going in that frame, because look, we're never going to go for the same stuff. He's always going to be booked. And, you know, I'm always about like, if they could see something in that person, they automatically put you in the same conversation. You're like, oh, he's doing that Idris thing. You're already, as soon as he's doing that, you're in conversations with like.
When they say we need an Idris type.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is for Outlaw Johnny Black, like that's what they did. It's like my character is like he's like an Idris type. So
nice.
So it's like really playing into these things and really mapping it out. So like Idris to me is just, and being full circle and just doing the Luther. Like I'm literally doing stuff that is directed towards that at this current moment.
I saw you had some writing credits. I have a question. I couldn't find it. I tried very hard, but what was it the Candy Nazi?
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about the Candy Nazi?
I need to know because I could not find anything. I tried to watch it. I just couldn't find it.
Okay, So that was literally it was trick or treating, and it was me and my buddy. We wrote this thing where my friend, he was wearing like a cow outfit, and he's like a grown man trick or treating for candy, and he stops by my house trying to get candy, and he looks 30, and he's just there, and he's just like, ugh. And he's like just taking all the candy, and I was like, yo, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, stop it. And I like yell at this grown man for taking candy. And then basically he throws the candy in my face saying, you know, what are you, candy Nazi? And like runs off. I have to find it. It was like the first kind of early thing that I did.
That's a great premise. See, you said you were worried about being funny. That's a funny premise.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's great.
We have like a lot of different like running stuff. I have it somewhere. I just have to find it.
Oh, if you find it, I would love to
yeah.
it.
Please
Like,
send it our way. Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else, Jay?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, how about we get into Eme's top 5 action movies?
I know we've been talking a little. We talked a little longer than we thought. So if you're cool on time, we can keep going. Or
Let's do it.
All right, then let's get into our feature presentation.
And now, our feature presentation.
Let's go. Emmy's top 5 action movies.
Are these in any specific order? Or are they just kind of in any order?
So here's the thing. You're going to read this list and you're like, what type of list is this? I already know. I have my one, but then I have each reason why I have the other movies there.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
First one.
Start with 5.
Oh, 5th. There's no order. So
Okay. Yeah.
So
whatever you want.
I have one and then the jumbled rest.
Okay,
So
let's hear the definite.
All right, the definite, The Matrix, hands down,
of course.
number one. Not even up for
cut
discussion.
out for. Sorry, my internet cut out for a second.
Oh, The Matrix.
I didn't
Hands
get
down.
any of that.
Did you get The Matrix? What about The
No.
Matrix?
What's your
Because
5? What's your number 5?
Oh.
Sorry, it cut out for like 20 seconds. Well, I don't know what happened.
All right. So I don't really have a 5. I have my number 1, and then I have the jumbled rest after.
Okay.
So I'll just put number 5.
Mm-hmm.
The Bad Boys series.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
Bad
good.
Boys 1, Bad Boys 2, the iconic run, the
The
look,
shirt half open. Just
the scene, the gun. One of the greatest chase scenes was when they come into the lobby and then that gun shootout, and then they like him and Wilson, and then like they run through the street. Then there's that bike down that alley, and like the car hits it right before that guy turns, and then right when Martin Lawrence is about to get hit by the car, and Will Smith does that dive.
yeah.
And they drive off, and they do that stand, like that turn with the Michael Bay camera. Like that is one of the coolest action sequences. That I was like, this is a badass. And then that sound, the song, every time. So Bad Boy series is 5.
Mm-hmm.
great choice.
This is for its own specific thing, and I think it's one of the best fight choreography I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
The Raid.
Oh man, I saw
The
that
Raid
movie 4 times in the theater. I could not get enough of it. I just took a bunch of different people to it. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna see this movie. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, this movie's fucking amazing. I gotta take you to this movie. Like it's
Yeah, that was one I just needed people to know about. I was like, you have to see this.
I think they're actually fighting in the movie.
Yeah.
Like I think they're actually fighting. I don't know
It's
how you
just-
could shoot it any other way.
Well, it does away. That's one of those things that we were talking about where it's like, oh, you did this, now I can't watch anything that's less than that.
yeah.
Like it ruined me for like most action movies because I have a big problem with something most action movies do, where the hero is fighting like 5 people, and you can see that people are just like waiting to hit the guy while they're fighting someone else.
Yeah.
There's none of that in this. Every move is to get him into position for the next move and the next move, and like it's just so fluid and like believable. It's just incredible.
Incredible. There's stuff that I see like where he like will smash someone's face into a wall, and I'm like, I'm like, someone is like, I don't know how you cheat that. I don't know how you cheat that. Like, how do you do that?
Well, I know one thing that they did is that they literally at least for the second one, I'm pretty sure they did it for the first one too, but they literally choreographed and rehearsed these fight scenes for months to just build that trust with each other. So then if somebody accidentally like fucking cold cock somebody right in the face, their ego didn't get in the way. They're like, okay, I get it. Did you see the second one?
I've seen, Redemption.
Yeah.
Or Raid. It's just, I think it's just the Raid 2.
Oh,
the Raid
the first
Redemption
one they
is
tacked
the
on Redemption.
For the American audience, I think.
They're just, I've seen both. They're just incredible. So a lot of them like
did the choreography, right?
Mm-hmm. The guy who plays Mad Dog,
Like if I was making an action movie, I would just be hiring him. Like that's where my money would go.
Every single time.
Like how does everyone not do that? Like that's where I get frustrated. I'm like, just do that. Like he's there.
That guy.
Just get that guy.
That guy.
Yeah, just do it.
Well, they got him for John Wick 3. He's wait. The guys that Keanu fights at the end of John Wick 3, I know they're 2 Raid dudes.
Oh.
I think it's them. I think it's those guys. I
haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah.
That's another great series, and it's great because it's directed by a guy who was like a stunt choreographer. Like,
you
know, same with like Extraction, which I also love. It's done by a guy who's the stunt guy.
A stunt guy, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was on. He was like Chris Evans or Hemsworth's like stunt double or something on all the Marvel movies, and then eventually became like the stunt choreographer for all of it. And again, that's one of those that's just like all the action works so seamlessly and perfectly. It's right.
That's why I don't. That's why it is. Like I don't understand why you still have horrible fight choreography.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Yeah, people don't want to spend the money on it. I imagine it's got to be.
They just don't think people care or notice. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason that like John Wick is the movie that fits. Like just because if John Wick had a horrible fight choreography, there's no John Wick.
No. Oh no.
No. No, that first one we never heard of. I mean, it's in the $5 bin at Walmart. Like we don't know that.
Yeah, and when you think about it, there's really no story. You messed with this guy's dog.
Yeah, the whole story is he killed his dog.
Like that's how
killed his dog.
Like, how do you pitch that movie? Like,
which is also semi-brilliant because everyone loves dogs so much.
Yeah, like what's the pitch mean? These guys messed with this guy's dog, and then he just fights them for the rest.
And he kills everybody.
Kills everybody.
And it's the trope of he's the best.
And we're gonna make 3 of them, and they're going to be bad ass.
All of them are good.
Yeah. They've got another. Aren't they doing like another, at least 1, maybe 2?
Yeah, they're doing more.
Yeah. They're doing more. They shouldn't stop it. They shouldn't stop it.
Just keep doing it.
As long as Keanu can still do it, but he's getting up there.
And
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
What else you got?
So this is based on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm gonna pick my favorite one out of all of them, and it's Avengers, like that whole thing. And I picked Thor Ragnarok because
that's the movie that got me like super into the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
it's
what?
It's one of the funniest movies.
Yes, it's hilarious.
Hilarious.
Like Chris Hemsworth should not be able to be that funny. Like
no,
he's a talented actor. He looks amazing. Like you shouldn't also be able to be funny. That's not fair.
It's not fair at all.
Funny. That funny too.
Yeah, that man has tremendous timing.
Oh, like I watched like clips of him in like the new Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like the female version of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And like I was cracking up in that.
Yeah, well he's also one of those. He's got like Cena. Like why James Gunn likes John Cena because he's just in for whatever. Like you tell him to do this, and even regardless of how ridiculous or silly it is, he's gonna do it 100%.
Every time.
Yeah.
And it's like an incredible scene, and it's fun, and it's just like you need to. Have you seen the bloopers of Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's just
I didn't watch the first 2 Thor movies because I was like, I don't give a shit about Thor, like this magic realm. I don't care. And then I watched that, and I'm like, I gotta go watch these others.
But I
it's good, but
yeah, I don't feel like they really grasped him or his character until Ragnarok, when they're like, oh, Hemsworth's funny. They really leaned
know that though. How do you have 2 movies with this guy who's this funny, and you don't even realize until this director's like,
see, I don't know if he's actually like funny, or if he's just like again, he has tremendous timing. Like he has great comedic timing. Like everything that's funny about, I mean, the things he's saying are funny, but he didn't write them. But the way he delivers them is what really sells it and drives it home for me, anyways. And I mean that kind of timing, like not everyone has that. And you look at him, you're like, that guy's not gonna have that. Like, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's a stereotype, but it's just like, look at this beefcake, blonde, beautiful man. Like he's not gonna, he can't do that.
Can't do that. He actually made me beautiful man. He had a scene in, I think it's Endgame, where he's talking about how he's lost everything, where he's talking to Coon, and he's just talking about how, and he's like crying. He's doing the speech and crying. I'm like, but it was like funny, and I'm like, I kept watching that over and over. Like, how are you doing this? How are you making me like get emotional, like super emotional, as you're crying and saying a joke?
Yeah, he's just he's got more chops than it's just ridiculous.
It's like, I think a big part of it is, you know, a lot of the times when you see comedy on screen, for me at least, is like they're not trying to be funny. They're being serious with it, but the way that it's said and it's written and it sounds
authentic.
Ridiculous.
It feels
and he's authentic.
He's like, putting everything into it, and it just feels real and
It's like he calls Rocket Raccoon a rabbit, like the whole movie, and he'll say something really poignant and like really intense. He's like, you know, rabbit. And it's just like, it's just ridiculous. But he says it with such conviction. It's so good.
Because he's 1,000% in, and that is that and timing are like 2 of the biggest keys.
Huge
comedy.
Huge.
Oh, and he's just like literally like, I'm like, there's so much that I look at. Like I'm literally like getting into shape. I'm like, I want Hemsworth body. Like that's what I'm going for. And I was just like, yeah, because that dude, like you said, is a beefcake.
He is.
Man.
Yeah. And he's kind of made a name for himself with like all like, you know, like his, I think he has an app, doesn't he, that has like meditation and workouts.
Well, he does. Jeremy Renner had an app too.
What's Jeremy Renner's app?
It doesn't exist anymore because it got flooded with just trolls. It's actually very funny if you want to go look up the genesis of all of that and why it got shut down. It's very deep internet, but
I remember that.
I'm online too.
Nice. Let me see. I got all right. So this one was, I picked this movie for a very specific reason because I saw Avatar, which I absolutely loved in theaters, like 3 times, like 2 times in IMAX and then I went home and I watched this movie and I was absolutely blown away. District 9.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
District 9 blew me away.
Same. Me too.
That movie is absolutely incredible, and really the only sequel that everybody's calling for, but they just won't make it, which is so confusing.
Where's District 10?
Where's District 10? I want that sequel. And they're not doing it.
And it's
so weird because I feel like Neil Blomkamp, like, he made a number of great movies like that, but like he made one or two that weren't so good, and now people just like won't let him make movies again. Like,
yeah, because you know, he made Chappie, which I never saw, but I heard it was
that's like
horrible.
what killed him. It wasn't good, but like you can miss sometimes. No one bats 1,000.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? He's clearly talented. He just missed.
Yeah, and remember when they were talking about him making an Alien sequel? That
looked so cool with all the art.
And like bringing Michael Biehn back as Hicks.
Michael Bihn's my
Sigourney
favorite
Weaver
action movie star of all time, outside of you, of course. Yeah, it would have been a direct sequel to Aliens, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I don't know, and I don't know why they're not doing it. I have no idea.
Yeah, just it seems so simple. Just do that.
Simple. That's the math is do this and you'll get your money back.
Yeah, make a few $100 million. This is easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just based on the artwork alone, you had so many people, myself included, just so excited for this movie. And then I think it was before Prometheus came out, and then Prometheus came out.
That's wise, because he wanted to do this whole other thing that.
Is he still making movies?
I think. Let's see. Let's IMDb him here while we're talking.
I feel like he might have had another Alien type movie to do, but
if you better pull that up on IMDb. It better say District 10. If not, I'm punching the screen.
It says in development District 10, but that's, you know.
Yeah.
The last thing he did was a movie called Demonic in 2021, which I never saw. A young woman unleashes terrifying demons when supernatural forces at the root of a decades-old rift between mother and daughter are ruthlessly revealed. Yeah.
I remember hearing about that, but
I remember hearing about it too. But it's kind of odd for him to be like this, you know, hard sci-fi director and known for that, and then he's like, I'm gonna make a horror movie, but then nobody.
I feel like he was in like Hollywood jail, and it was like, so now I gotta go make a horror movie to make a bunch of money on a small budget.
Yeah.
But he'll get the money. That's what
he should. I don't have any money, but I'd give him money to make a movie.
Yeah, me too.
Doesn't make any sense.
Little comp.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then I got these two movies.
Okay.
I couldn't. One is a series, like a series, because I have to include this actor in it. He's like the greatest action star of all time.
Oh, I'm all ears.
Mm-hmm.
I just professed Michael Biehn was the greatest of all time.
Mission Impossible.
Tom Cruise, yeah.
Tom Cruise is the greatest action star of all time.
I just finally watched. I've seen all the Mission Impossibles except for some reason I hadn't seen the third one. I just finally watched that like a week ago.
Which one's the third one? That's not Ghost, right?
That's the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah,
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
It's the J.J. Abrams, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yeah, and yeah, all the like Ghost Protocol, like all the ones that have been recent have been so good.
So good, and it's just like
so good.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Keanu, I think, are really the last like nostalgic action heroes that we have left that are doing it.
Yeah.
Because Tom Cruise, what he's doing with his movies are insane.
Mm-hmm.
What he's doing with stunts, like I can't.
Oh, he is like a death wish. Like the things. I mean, him hanging off that plane.
Jesus.
Him actually doing that.
Or the Halo jump, or in the new Top Gun, he's flying the fucking fighter jet.
I'm excited for that Top Gun.
Yeah. I feel like Tom Cruise is the last movie star.
Yeah.
I think he's the last movie star. Him and Keanu. I think him and Keanu are the last movie stars of that. And I think The Rock is kind of.
Yeah, he's like the newer version of that, where it's like, I'll just kind of go see whatever they're in.
Yeah, but then like these two are just like, I want to see. The reason why Tom Cruise is because I literally go to the movies to see what is he going to do with this.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know that's become like a selling point for those movies. It's like, how is he gonna try and kill himself this time? What's he gonna do?
When he skydived out of the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Halo jump or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts.
He's fucking nuts. And he's like 60 years old. I mean, not yet, but basically.
Dude. And I saw him once and I just like kind of like, oh yeah, that's Tom Cruise. I almost like geeked out because this guy is, and he was wearing the leather jacket too and everything like this.
Of course.
It was great. And then I think the other movie that I have with him, which is why it's back to back, is Edge of Tomorrow.
I love that movie.
I fucking love that movie
so much.
That movie did so dirty because the advertising for it was shit.
Yeah,
that movie was
the title's
so
stupid.
Good.
It doesn't make any sense. It has nothing to do with anything.
Live, die, repeat. That's what it should have been.
Why?
Yeah.
You think it should have been you thought it should have been Live, Die, Repeat.
Because that was the original. Wasn't that the original title or what they sold it as?
And that's what they sold the DVD as. Like they got away from the Edge of Tomorrow thing because when I saw that title, I was like, I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? And then I happened to see it, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. How well.
So good. Him and Emily Blunt and Bill Paxton. I think that was his last movie.
R.I.P.
Oh.
Talk about action stars. He was in some of the most iconic action movies ever. Bill Paxton. Yes. I think he's the only actor to ever be killed by a Terminator, a Predator, and an alien. That's my good action movie trivia.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh man. That movie's so good. I've heard rumblings of them making a sequel.
Yeah.
Which
hopefully.
It's kind of crazy because I don't think it really made any money.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, sequel to what? To
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
I would love to see that.
It's tough because it's like, will it do good the second time around? Will it do well the second time around? And we don't know because of COVID and movie. Like, movie theaters change.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. Like, I feel like it's gotten enough buzz and like I wouldn't say it has like a cult following, but it's one of those movies that's like people who know that type of movie, they're like, dude, you gotta watch this. Like, this is like the real deal.
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah, we got to do that on the show. Maybe when we do that on the show, we'll have you on and we'll talk about it.
I'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Same. I know. I have those movies. It's like we got to block out like 3 hours this time because I mean, I'll talk about something I hate for 2 hours, so something I love.
Do you feel that movie was somewhat as like comeback in a certain type of way? Like after that movie, people started like. He was kind of, people were somewhat looking at him in a weird way, and then after that movie.
See, what I think the movie was,
got
him back, was Collateral. I love Collateral, and I want to see him more as a villain. He's so good in Collateral.
Well, I think people forget, too. Yeah, he's a huge action star, but he's also a fucking amazing actor. He's a great actor.
Yes, and he's so good in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's different than anything else he's ever done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He got nominated, but Jamie Foxx won, or did they both got nominated? What happened?
Jamie Foxx won an Oscar, but not for that.
He got nominated for Ray and Collateral in the same year, but he won for Ray. Yeah, I don't think Cruise got nominated. I think Cruise has only been nominated for Born on the 4th of July, I think.
That's right. I mean, they're both so good.
Wait.
Jamie Foxx is another guy like Will Smith who just can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's funny. He sings. He's like a talented actor. He just
does action stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's in the. I haven't seen. He's in the new Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun.
He comes back as his character from the Andrew Garfield second Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Looks like he was done real dirty in that movie. In the first one, the original.
Yeah, he does. He can do
everything. He can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
He can do everything. Which is
looks
what
like
you want.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Cruise was only nominated. He was nominated for an Oscar for Magnolia, Jerry Maguire, and Born on the 4th of July, but he hasn't won one.
I don't see him winning one.
They'll probably just give him one at some point. It's like one of those things where it's just like, okay, here, have one.
Lifetime
Maybe in like 10
type.
years. Just like give him one. Yeah.
Like how they gave DiCaprio the Oscar for Remnant, even though that's not even like in his top 10 movies.
Yeah.
Not even close. It's like DiCaprio should have won it. So many of them. You know what it is? It's like when they gave it to Al Pacino for Scent of a Woman.
Mm-hmm.
He had so many he should have gotten it for. And they took it from Denzel for Malcolm X.
Yeah, see, that's the thing you don't realize. Like, you give it to someone who doesn't deserve it for this, and you're taking it away from someone who does deserve it that year.
Yeah, or like, you know.
That was good in Training Day, but it's like Malcolm X was one of the greatest performances of all time.
Yeah. They're not the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, they've been nominated a bunch. It's like, you know, I love Departed, but it's not Scorsese's best movie.
Right.
No, not by a long shot. But I don't even think that they'll give Cruise, he'll be nominated for a movie. I feel like it'll just be one of those like, oh, kind of like a lifetime achievement Oscar kind of thing they'll give to Cruise.
I just don't see him I think if he took a role that's more Oscar friendly, I think he could do it. I just don't see him taking that kind of role.
Because he likes money.
And he does think of
his
himself
movies
as
make
like,
a shitload of money.
But I also think he thinks of himself as like a movie star, like a traditional old school movie star.
Totally. Yeah.
And he is.
Oh yeah,
he is. He is 100%. Yeah.
Like the only way he can do it is that it's a passion project. The only reason why he'll do it is like, I want to win an Oscar for this.
I feel like we haven't seen him. He's like one of those guys who I don't feel like he's had a passion project. Like, can you think of a movie he's done that was just like wasn't a popcorn like blockbuster type?
I think those are his passion projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like in the traditional sense,
I think it's Top Gun Maverick, which is like a $100 million movie. Like, this is my pet project that I've always
kind of excited for that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for that.
Him, like I've seen stuff just with him inside of the fighter jet, and it's like, is he actually? That's the thing and that's what I love about it. It's like, is he actually flying this plane? Like, that's what I love about when you watch his movies. Yeah. Like, is he actually doing it?
Probably. Well, because didn't in the last Mission Impossible movie he flew that helicopter?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Insane.
He's fucking insane.
I mean,
he's insane.
That stunt he did on the outside of the plane that he actually did. Like, they had to give him like special contacts because his eyes would dry out, and like he apparently it was so cold, like his body temperature didn't like regulate for like days afterwards. Like he's just fucking himself up.
Him and Keanu, back to the movie star thing, they've set the bar, and now you see all these other actors that are like, I want to do my own stunts. And all these insurance companies are like, no.
Nope.
No.
I can say that I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's because you're a badass.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me do my own stunts now. Let me try to do my own stunts. And it's just like, as I currently just threw up my back, just doing some jogging exercises.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I've thrown mine out sleeping, so.
Where I'm at that age.
Nice.
We're all 37. It's just, yeah.
We're at that.
Awesome. Well, I think is there anything else on your list?
That leaves us number 1, right?
Yeah. Which we discussed, which is the Matrix, yeah?
Which is the Matrix. We could talk about it.
Yeah. Have you seen the newest one?
I did, and I absolutely loved it.
I did too.
I haven't watched it yet.
I really liked it.
Loved it. Here's the thing is, I feel I know what they were doing. And if you think, do you care if we spoil it for you?
Yeah, that's fine. That movie's been out long enough.
I haven't seen it yet.
You've lost your chance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. Fair point.
It's just fine.
just I always kind of make that joke, like people are like, "Oh, I haven't seen Citizen Kane." Like, "Oh no, spoilers!" It's like, You've had your
That came out 80 fucking years ago.
You had your chance.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But like this, they had to do it in this way. I felt with the Matrix. Like they had to, like they have to understand. It's like they're like, well, what about the Matrix? Like, they were literally saying that we, as a society, are in a matrix of the Matrix. That no matter what we do, no matter what movie they came out with, people just wanted another Matrix. That's all. They wanted another Matrix with great special effects. They didn't care what it was, and they had to like call it out to be able to get away from the original Matrix.
Yeah, it was very self-aware.
Yeah,
completely.
Which that had to be the way to do it.
Yeah, and I think it was one of the. I felt that the question that they were asking was so much more ambitious than the very first Matrix.
Yeah,
because the element that I thought was very key was the element of speed in that movie. And it was the fact is that we always thought that Neo could dodge. But then now, after that, Sean Patrick Harris' character is even faster than that. And then even that person, I think the Smith, was even faster than him. And I felt the question that they're asking is, well, what is the point of having infinite matrix? Meaning that there's somebody above you, and there's someone probably above that, and there's somebody probably above that, and above that, and above that, up for an eternity. But then, well, what is the point of life and all of this if we have these infinite matrices that we're never going to find out the bottom? How do you live life, and how do you make change, and how do you move forward when everything that we're in technically doesn't exist and someone's going to be faster?
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
It's like, how do you solve that matrix? And I feel that that's what they're setting up. Like, but first they had to get away from the original matrix to actually set up and try to answer that question.
I'm so glad you like that, because most people I've talked to didn't. I thought it was great.
I think I was swayed by a lot of people who were just like, ugh. So I've waited, but now I need to give it a shot.
It doesn't have the same type of like amazing action. Like there's, maybe one scene that I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. But that's also wasn't really like the point of this movie. Like it was like we're doing something else. Like we're making another point.
Right.
Yeah. And is it possible too? And that's my question too. How can you up the greatest mind-bending effect?
And you can't, and they didn't even try to.
You can't. Yeah. It's like,
they basically like shit on it, where he's like, "Oh, bullet time. Yeah, well, check this out. I'm just gonna stop you.
Stop it from that." Yeah. And I think that's all you could really do.
Right.
And I think people have to really answer that question of the Matrix. Is like, and I think that's why I kind of like with Agent Smith's character, with his Gamatine and the other guy. I'm not sure the other actor was, but it's like, what do you want? You want the same Morpheus again? It's going to be watered down, and that's the question that they're saying is, if you keep making remakes, it's just going to keep getting watered down.
Yeah.
You can't do better. You can't. So you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yes. I think a lot of casual fans just wanted more.
Another Matrix. Yeah.
More piggies wanted their slop.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, I thought it was incredible. I actually was like, I had so much. Did you see it in theaters?
No, I ended up watching it. I was at home with my parents over Christmas when it came out, and like my dad has like this ridiculously big, like one of those curved TVs, like surround sound. So it basically felt like I was just like, I'm just gonna watch this here. This is just dope as hell.
Oh, it was. You need to see it. You're slacking.
I know.
Check it out.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it now that it's back on HBO. I think. Yeah.
How do you feel about the other sequels?
Like 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's weird, but it's weird though. The reason why, but it is this. I haven't watched those movies again since they. I saw the first one. I've not gone back and seen the second and third. So when I saw the second and third, there's just so much cool fight stuff that I had. And at that time, I didn't care. I was like 16.
Yeah.
I was like,
So, Judd, from what you said about liking the third one, I would recommend going back and watching 2 and 3 now, because I had mixed feelings about 2 and 3, and I've watched them recently, like with a little more evolved brain and like understanding, and I got more out of it from watching it recently.
I'll go back and watch those two. Yeah.
I've never hated 2 and 3. I thought it was so
I
funny.
didn't hate them.
Matrix 2.
I thought the 2 was great.
Was actually what, like, I thought Matrix 2 was better at first, but it was like but then I went back and watched Matrix 1. I'm like, no.
We used to watch that like before we went out freshman year in college. Like we'd watch like the highway scenes to get like amped up.
Fuck, I need to go back and watch those too. I don't think I've seen the second and third one since they came out. And I watched the third one, like some shitty bootleg copy, my, freshman year on my gateway computer. And it was just, I remember being incredibly underwhelmed. But, it's the circumstances. It's like we talked about before. Things like that are meant to be seen on a big screen or, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, man, we've gone longer than I anticipated. I mean, it's your fault. You're such a delight. Like, this is on you.
And you give such great, thoughtful answers. And, you're a good conversationalist. You're good to talk to. You're funny. You're charming.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
I blame you. You had that intro. Because of this intro is why this all happened. You should blame yourself.
Well, I feel like people need to know what they're getting themselves into, like, immediately, so.
You got me amped. That intro was like you watching, like, the highway scene in Matrix 2.
Yeah.
You got me.
It's like the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Well, seriously, thank you for, wasting 2 hours of your life with us talking nonsense. Oh. This was so much fun. Everyone go check out Moonfall. It rules. See it, watch it, consume it.
Check out Moonfall. Check out On My Block, which just wrapped. It's on Netflix. Gray Man at some point this year. Outlaw Johnny Black, hopefully at some point this year. Yeah, so many good things, and we know you probably got some other stuff in the pipeline that we'll be looking for.
Do you have anything else you want to plug before we get out of here?
It's funny. This is like the first movie I ever did, which I say you guys should watch. Like a film from Colorado. The first one I ever did is a movie called Ink.
Yeah.
It's called what? Sorry.
It's called Ink. INK. It's like the first movie I ever did, and it's still one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Just wrote that down.
And I'm saying not top 10 movies I've done. One of the top 10 movies I've seen.
Nice.
And it was a movie that I was tracking it. But the movie was like, we did it back in Colorado. When it's about these forces who come out and give you dreams. Some give you good dreams, some give you nightmares. And it's about fighting over one.
Nice. Might actually watch that tonight. I got nothing going on.
Yeah, I'd say I recommend watching the movie Ink. It was made back in 2009, but it's like weird, crazy, like cult classic, which is
nice, awesome.
It's right up my alley.
Like, look it up. It's like crazy. Like, I was like, oh, all right, yeah.
I'm watching that tonight.
Tell what you think.
I will. Yeah, but again, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much, man. This really means a lot to us, and we'll have to have you back when we talk about Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll do that whenever your next one comes out. We'll do it around that time.
All right, for sure. Absolutely.
Jake, why don't you hit us where you can find us real quick?
You can find us at www.actionmoviebookclub.com, on Twitter at actionmoviebc, or on Instagram at actionmoviebookclub. Eme, what are you on the socials?
Ikwuakor. I think it's just my last name. If you just type in IKWUAKOR anywhere, it's either me or I'm related to that person. So either way, that person will relay the message back to me. So I'll get it either way.
Perfect. But yeah, thanks again, Eme, for coming on and shooting the shit with us for 2 hours. That was so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for Eme and Jay and myself, why don't you take us out?
Happy trails, Hans.